In this episode, I'm going to show you why chasing random side hustles that you may see all over YouTube and Instagram keeps most people broke. Let's be honest, when you see a lot of these people, do they really scream millionaire? Do they really scream, yeah, this person has got their shit together? And so how can you actually build a second stream of income the smart way? It starts with becoming great at your skill in your day job. And then you can then use that as your dojo, your place to get better. It's a win for the company. It's a win for you. And then you can start thinking about how you can use that skill, perhaps to help others and get paid for it. This is what I did. And I'm going to show you the exact steps of what you need to do so you can do the same, which would be make a side income without having to quit your day job. So before we begin, as part of the vision is to get this out to as many people as we can out there. And I'll just give a quick thank you over the podcast for the people that are spreading the word, the listeners and the people that are spreading the word. And today's thank you is to Ben Johnson, who applies Goldratt's theories of constraints to get more from your sales and operations in businesses. He's also become a mentor on mentorbusiness.com as well. He listened to the podcast and he saw it and he was like, yep, Lewis, I'm on. I want to be able to teach more people about what he does. So this is interesting because Ben is also on that journey as well, where he's become very, very good at what he does in his day job, which is, helping businesses out in constraints in their businesses, in specifically towards operations, and with Ben, some operations and sales as well. So what he's doing here is he's not looking for let's start an Amazon store, or let's invest in crypto, or let's flip houses, because that's what every guru is telling you to do on Instagram, right? I could also say that maybe they're pushing that because, well, why aren't they going and doing it themselves? I'm sure they are, but a lot of people, it's a lot easier to just try and sell the course. So just be careful what you learn and what you take on, because everyone makes it look really easy and they show the income that they're getting and things like that. But they're also very good at marketing. And the reason that you're seeing their posts on social media is because of their marketing ability. So it allows people to fall into this false sense of hope of that's what they want to be doing. So it's a bit like YouTube. I've got young kids right now. And all we see, it used to be with one of them, it was always Blippi. Then it was like, Coco Melon, the dancing fucking fruit that you see. Parents, by the way, if you resonate with this, drop in the comments. Yes, I get that. That's the same thing that your kids are seeing as well. And today with the youngest one, it's Miss Rachel. Miss Rachel. Now she's making millions and millions off YouTube. And fair play to it. You've got to start somewhere, not to say it doesn't work. Now, for people like me and you that are entrepreneurs, business owners, busy professionals, executive managers that are listening to this podcast, I see a lot of young entrepreneurs today thinking that they're going to become successful by going and doing a YouTube things, creating YouTube videos. They put all their time, all their energy, put a lot of investment into it, and the payoff isn't guaranteed. Yeah, it's not guaranteed. There's a lot of variables in it, and it takes a long time. Okay, so it's not saying don't do this sort of stuff, but why would you do that and have to become a YouTube marketing expert when you've already got a certain specific set of skills, Liam Nielsen style, that you could get paid for tomorrow? Yeah, you name your price, you find the right audience, you get some help with it, and you can start doing that. And that comes from recognizing that a lot of these skills that you have in your 9 to 5 day job is actually extremely valuable. Look, to become like an expert in something, what does that actually mean? You just need to know something a little bit more than somebody else and live it. Yeah, you need to live it. That's why I prefer the role of mentoring, because you're doing it and you're living in the experience and you're living it in 2025. And you can actually see that, look, this stuff doesn't apply from like 20, 30 years ago now when the books were written. It doesn't even apply from 20 months ago. This is what I'm learning on the job. These are the ups and downs. So when people teach a training course or coach you through a generic sort of system, that system doesn't equate for all the emotional waves that we speak about on this podcast, the ups and downs, yeah, the support that you need. when you're getting mentored or you're mentoring somebody, you can go, look, yes, mate, because I'm seeing the exact thing in the industry right now. I've got you back. Okay. So why wouldn't you want to get paid from doing that sort of stuff as opposed to let's just go all in and spend the next 3 years trying to become a YouTube star? you know. And let's be honest, right? If you're going to listen to any sort of business advice right now, you're going to be competing with the big marketers. Yeah, the Hormozes, the Bartletts. Fair play to them; they've done really well, but they're marketers. They're marketers first, and especially a lot of business coaches as well. I mean, I work with a lot of business coaches over the last 15 years. I offer a business coaching service myself. It's you're not really in the game of being a great business coach and getting great results. You're in the game of getting great referrals. You're in the game of getting great leads. You're in the game of really working LinkedIn and working the social media, working SEO. ChatGPT is going to save me in the future. No, it's fucking not. All it's going to do is the better marketers will get found on ChatGPT. You need a different path. You need a different route. And I mean, I had a guy on mentalbusiness.com the other day. His accounting knowledge of finances, of cash flow, of finding grants, dividends. It's game-changing information for a business. There's a guy coming on soon as well, another accountant, an external accountant. The information that he's got is incredible, but they're not marketers, so they don't get seen. Yeah, they don't get seen. What a waste of talent. So what happens to the people that are good at marketing is they put their fees up. I mean, if you ever listen to any of Hormoz's stuff, you're talking like 50K, and that was about 2 years ago. 50K just to have him for a couple of hours. So there's a bigger gap. It starts to spread, and it's a real shame out there that people with real skills, like you listeners, some of your team members, some of your colleagues and friends that they're really good at what they do, but they're just not getting the opportunity to get in front of the right people because of their ability to market and sell, which is a real shame. Yeah, and that kind of needs to change. So let's go back into the idea of side hustles then. So what we actually need here is that the whole side hustle thing is, okay, yeah, look, you can go and start on Amazon. You can invest in crypto. Personally, everyone who talks to me about crypto, 99% of them aren't rocking up in the the sports cars that they've said that they're going to have in the next 5 years and stuff like that. And the people that I'm mentoring in business they are having the houses, they are doing this. So I like to go stuff by evidence based, and okay, there's going to be some people out there right now going, Lewis, you're completely wrong. Look at this crypto investor guy, blah blah blah. Here's his course. Yeah, he's selling courses, mate. He's selling courses. It's not just crypto. Yeah. Oh, look at this person that flips houses. Yeah. Well, you found them because of their course that they're promoting. They're a marketer. Yeah. So here's the real problem. A lot of people, when they go into the next side hustle, they're starting from scratch. No advantage, and most fail. Right. So the side hustle thing isn't the wrong thing. You just got to find the right thing that suits the world and the model that you're in. You don't need to go and learn a new skill. If you've had 10, 15, 20 years in business and been showing up every day, imagine if you showed up to the gym for 8 hours, 5 days a week. Yeah? I think you'd be a little bit, you'd have the right then to walk into a gym. You'd look like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you'd go, mate, look, the way that you're doing that lifting's wrong. Yeah? The way that you're lifting that weight today, you're going to break your back. You're never going to build any muscle if you keep doing that. Yeah? So I like physical fitness because the proof is in, well, not the pudding. The proof is there, right? You can physically see that person knows what the fuck they are talking about. I like business because you can see when someone shows up and they show you their businesses, they show you their properties, they show you their portfolio, they show you the goals that they've achieved. This person has fucking lived it. Yeah. So I like that idea of mentoring. And look, they don't need to be you flash about it. If for someone to be an expert in any skill, they just need to know a little bit more than somebody else. So there's a lot of people as well that are coming onto mentorbusiness.com right now, and they have skills that I haven't got. But if I had that skill, I'd be like, that skill is going to allow me to accelerate my other stuff. So as entrepreneurs and business owners, you do need to become like, you do need to be the jack of all trades, because you need to be clued up. So when you do hire somebody, you're not having the wool just pulled over your eyes. Yeah. So I know of a lot of businesses, and they go and talk about SEO and websites and things, and then they'll come along and sit there and speak to an SEO expert, and they will be blowing smoke up their arse completely. Yeah. And I know a lot about SEO now, not as much as some of the specialists that are on mentalbusiness.com or coming on board. But these people have trained me, and I've just watched their videos and gone, that's what great looks like. Yeah. I'm going to settle for good. If I don't want to be able to pay for the great service, why wouldn't you? I guess it's you got to think about where you are budgeting, but you also see what bad looks like. You know the standards that you are holding yourself against. So having that general information, that general knowledge is good. Let's rewind. Why am I saying this? Because you, who is living the 35, 40 hour, 60 hour weeks right now, you've got experience of what good and great looks like over the years that you've done it. So why wouldn't you be the expert, know a little bit more than somebody else? You can help somebody, and you don't have to charge thousands for it. Sometimes just getting paid a little bit more by a company could be like, $500. Yeah. We're going to give you $500 to mentor our new junior. Yeah. The senior hasn't got the time, so we're going to get somebody in from another company that knows a little bit more about IT, that knows a little bit more about marketing, that knows a little bit more about sales operations, and they're gonna train you. Yeah. Look, if you had a mentor for a salesperson, and that business, I mean, this is like 80, even 90% of small businesses aren't sales trained. So if you've got somebody who's been in corporate sales for a decade, that just comes in and gives your salesperson a bit of mentoring for once a week, once a fortnight, fuck, you can't put a price on that experience. Well, you can, because it's what you pay, but what's it worth to you? If your person is sitting there, what are you losing? What price are you putting on return on not doing it, not development, ROND? Yeah, we talk about ROI, return on investment, ROD, return on development, OND, return on not development. What does it cost you to have a salesperson sitting in that seat having inquiries that doesn't know how the fuck to sell? Or that could have learned to sell, and they've read some stuff or watched a YouTube video, but they haven't got the basics of what actually works, and they're not being mentored by somebody who's done it in 2025. Yeah. Think about what it starts to cost you, right? Now, this is the thing. Your skills, for the people that have got those skills, you have got, I mean, entrepreneurs that listen to this right now, how many people are starting up around the world? And not just in the UK and Australia and America, where we have a lot of listeners as well. There are people in India, Africa, all over the world, in China, in Japan, that are watching this sort of stuff. Yeah, they can translate it and they can watch this stuff, and they're learning from people that are in the trenches. Yeah, and look, if they don't agree with what you were saying, they'll go on to another mentor and listen to it, and they go, and that mentor will be saying probably the very similar stuff because it's the stuff that fucking works, and they'll go, okay, now I get it. I do need to step out of my ego zone and start doing this stuff because all the mentors are saying it. Yeah, so that's the benefit, really, of having a lot of mentors around you. I mean, it's abundance mindset as well. I took a call the other day for a mentor coming on, and they said, well, what about if another mentor is doing the same sort of thing? And I went, well, have you got a favorite Netflix TV show? Yeah. Who's your favorite celebrity? So-and-so, so-and-so. Do you like other celebrities? Yeah. You can have more than one mentor. You can have more than one. I mean, this is the boardroom table stuff, isn't it? Who are you having around your boardroom table to give you the right advice? We're talking about passive income myths in this. There are people out there that are doing jobs where they're getting paid for it. They are talking about income streams that have worked for them, and they're sharing that experience. And the first step, I mean, passive income streams. Let's go to the title of this podcast. I've got 9 businesses, starting a 10th from an investment in the UAE soon, and they all create income streams. Yeah. Are they passive? Well, they all need work. They all need accountability, because you can have 10 streams of passive income and it sounds sexy, but they're like pipelines. Would you rather have 10 little straws, 10 little pipes that are like, putting a bit of water into a jar? Or would you rather have a whole reservoir that is being pumped by huge pipelines into that? You've got to put the work in. Yeah, you've got to put the work into these passive incomes. So people sometimes, maybe listening to this, and that's a little bit far away. I was speaking to Darren the other day, who's going to be a mentor soon for small businesses. And he says the thing is, Lewis, is that you talk on your podcast about how some of the big people on podcasts are a little bit too big. They're talking about how they're going to reach their next billion, right. And I'm talking about how the people are going between 1 million to 10 million to 100 million. Aaron said, well, Lewis, do you know what? Some of the stuff you're talking about now is also out of the range of some startups. So I'm like, yeah, Darren, well, get on and get on the podcast and come and teach us some of the stuff that you've seen and some of the systems that you've put in place. You see, they're living these skills and they've got information to share. Yeah, they've got knowledge that they can share, and so do you. So why would you want to go and start some Amazon store or invest in crypto or the next big thing that you're seeing? You can create some AI bot that makes you fucking money. Just keep it simple. Do your day job, but allow something to do the marketing and sales to form a bridge to get you paid. Yeah. And then that's it. Then you start to create a second income. It's that easy. You can do it from day one. Not have to wait 3 years to see if the YouTube algorithm picks you up. Yeah. Or if crypto goes up or down. Big lesson here, guys. Take ownership, right? Take ownership. Don't, and this is from my own entrepreneurial journey as well, of a big thing that I've learned is you want to control the variables in your business and life and your income. Yeah. You want to be controlling those variables. What does that mean? If there's external variables, like the way that the markets might go, or the way that the economy is, or the way that the customers behave, or whatever, you want to reduce those variables so you're in control of them as much as you can. Okay. With something like mentor business, the variable there is, I'm just using that as an example, by the way. I could use any other company. So lewishaydon.com, for example, the variable there is my effort and my outbound to business owners. Yeah. I can't turn around and blame, well, business owners aren't signing up right now and doing stuff with me because of X, Y, Z, because technically it's down to the economy and how much margins they're getting right now. And that's what I help with. But, you've got to try and convince people first. But there's a lot less. The main variable is, well, how good am I at getting out there and doing the activity? Yeah. Am I showing up every day? Am I doing the things and hitting the numbers on my behaviors that are then achieving to the KPIs? Yeah. So that's the sort of thing I can control. What I can't control is I've just put $10,000 into crypto and let me just go and influence all these different, variables that are changing the crypto world. I don't like it personally, but this is what I do like properties. The flip houses things could work because you buy a house, you decorate it, you choose what you want, and then you sell it. For me, though, I'd rather have a multiplier of that, not just like put a bit of money on and I've made some money off the decorating, basically, and the stuff. And I think people fall into, yes, they may have sold the house for, 250 rather than 200, but you've spent 2 years doing it, and you could have got paid 100 grand a year if you had a very good job and not fucking about with a house. You see what I mean? So having that skill you're developing, you're not only paying yourself more in your job because you're getting better and worth more, building up the ranks and things like that, you're also learning the skill of being the best in the world so that you could possibly teach others. And for me, that's where the bridge is that a lot of people are missing out on. Okay, so the problem with random hustles, this is a bit of a flash through, is there's no leverage. And look, you got to think about competitive advantage as well, haven't you? There's no competitive advantage. You're just in it with everybody else. You want to be thinking, right, how can you start to have these variables under your control so that you do work to your USPs? What makes you unique? Look, I mean, you don't want to be a generic specialist. There's a lot of generic specialists out there that just take a system and try and apply it, and they'll be good at some areas and be shit at some areas, right? What we need here is, well, why don't we get the specialist that's right for you? Yeah. If you need help in a business with marketing, don't just learn from a generic person. Go and get the help from the right marketing person. Yeah. Somebody who's done it. Save you years of time, by the way. Years and years. So Ben, who I introduced at the start, I used to work with a company. No, they used to work for us as a consultant. And straight away, the coach I had the coach I had he said, look, I can teach you that sort of stuff, but you just want to go to the best in the world, and that's these. It's simple. I'm like, whoa, okay. So what about if all this sort of doubt and things like that a lot of other coaches have? And he's just like, no, I want you to get the best result, and they're the best. Go and speak to them. That company came along, and look, they added like, I'm not going to give you the numbers, but it was like, another 5 figures a week. Yeah, onto the bottom line, all because of the abundance thinking of getting the right people in the right seats that needed to help with the certain constraint in the company. Okay. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the show so far and you're getting a lot of value from it. Look, we do this for free because it's our vision to help more businesses and their teams scale and actually achieve what they went into business and their career for. So these raw boardroom style conversations deliver the real data on what works and what doesn't, saving you time, money, and most of all, making sure that you don't miss on these opportunities that could really help you scale. Sharing it with people really, really supports us on these podcast platforms so we can achieve our vision. So if you have a like-minded friend, colleague, or business owner that could get value from this, thank you for sharing it with them. You know who you are, and greatest respect for everybody that's doing that so far. And if you haven't, then please support us. Let's get back to the show. So your skill is your edge. Every founder, employee, or leader has one thing they do better than most. You've got to recognize it, master it in your job, get paid more by your employer, then help others as well and get paid for that. Now, the problem why people don't do that third step is because they don't know how, and they don't know they have the support, and they don't have the vehicle and the marketing and the sales skills to do it. And that's why we formed mentorbusiness.com. So turning that skill into a second stream, start helping others, mentoring, coaching, freelance projects, package the knowledge. Yeah, that's what we do is we go, look, tell us about your knowledge. How do you put that into a package? Here's a curriculum. When people create their 7 videos, by the way, for mentorbusiness.com, they don't just create random videos. They go through a whole process of recognizing what is their value, what are they worth, building their confidence, getting their ability and clarity. I mean, we've got whole models and tools that teach you how to position this in a way that ultimately shows people the value that you can deliver. And people have never been through that. People have been in business. What was it the day? Like, been in business 30 years, and they're like, Lewis, I haven't. I'm not used to this stuff. Like, I'm not a marketer. I'm not a presenter. I'm like, don't worry, I'll hold your hand. We've got your back. Yeah. So the outcome is you come out the other end of it a lot clearer on the value that you add to people's lives. And, if you add value, people pay you more for it. So the outcome is as well, what I'm saying here is that people get paid more money by going through the process. So look, you've got to start helping others. That's what the world we're in. People want value fast. If you go and learn it off a YouTube channel, if you go and learn it off, Udemy, then you're not getting it fast because you can go and apply the generic stuff into your context of things. And it'd be like, well, that doesn't work. You shouldn't be doing that. For instance, with our 2 daughters, we had a sleep consultant, and the sleep consultant said, look, here's the plan, here we do it. And with the first daughter, it worked great. The second daughter, we tried to apply the same plan. Yeah. It never worked. We was there for months on end, losing sleep. We was, tired. We were at each other all the time because the sleep is the foundation of everything, right? Sleep is the foundation of everything. So when we tried to apply it again, it wasn't working because there was a few things that this daughter did differently and behaved different to the other one. So we spoke to them, we got their consulting, and within a day or two, she was sleeping. She was sleeping. I mean, what's that worth, right? We thought we could do it using the generic system. It just needed a bit of mentoring to go, and I'll tell you what it was. We were using white noise, using white noise in the white noise machine to drown out background noises and things like that. And it was on quite quiet. It's there, and the kids sleep to it now. But this daughter didn't like the white noise. So all the consultant said was, have you tried brown noise? Game changer. And that works a lot like in business, doesn't it? If you've got somebody here and you're trying to get your profit margins high and you're listening to a generic person and you go, okay, it's like a Lane who owns a company with me. She'll go into a business and I can't sit with every business and every client that I have. Elaine does. Elaine will go in as a fractional commercial accountant, sit there. Also work with the external accountants, by the way. She can do a lot of the accounting stuff, so practically becomes free when you start to move the fees over. But she'll sit there in the office, and then they can say, well, Elaine, we want you in once a week, once a fortnight, once a month, whatever that right for that business. And she will she'll start to look at the margins in a different way, look at the balance sheet, look at the P&L in a different way that the business owner does. And she'll go, well, this will do this. And the outcome is that your profit margins increase. Yeah. And the outcome from that, of course, is then you can take the higher dividends, you can pay people more money, you can grow the business. It's just being more efficient around it. But having someone who's done it for like 20 odd years, 30 years, and look at it just goes, yeah. You can imagine you guys listening right now, you know your profession. If you was to look at something compared to somebody who's new or somebody who thought they knew it all, you just go, yeah, there you go. Yeah. But then again, Elaine, she'll be open to, she'll be listening to this as well. She'll be open to then go, look, I don't know about scaling businesses. I don't know about the marketing side, the sales side, the operations, the leadership, the human. And that then comes from somebody from like an entrepreneur, who's done it and doing it. And me and Elaine work fantastic together with that. And also, she's quite hard on people when it comes to margins because she's passionate about it. But there's got to have the coaching skills behind it as well, because you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So it works very well with my clients because they've been through the hard, tough conversations from a coach already to get the best for them. And they know then that, you just got to follow what Elaine is saying. So here's the point. Your skills, very valuable to others. It saves them time. It saves them money. It makes them money. Why would people not want to pay you for that? Really think about that. Here's the strategy for bridging that gap then. If you're a professional in your 9 to 5, if there's a business owner that's showing up there 40 to 50 hours, and maybe you're reducing your hours because you're applying this sort of stuff that we're talking about in this podcast, what would you do with your spare time? You could do it from 6 a.m. in the morning and be finished by 7, 5 days a week. That would get you, 5 slots, 5 clients as such. You could do it fortnightly and have 10 slots. You could be taking on 5 or 10 clients here just for teaching your skills as a business owner or as an entrepreneur or as an accountant or a financial advisor, whatever it may be. By the way, we put lists of all the spaces that are coming up. You can follow mentorbusiness.com on Instagram and you'll see the lists of seats that we have available. If you want to share that with anybody else as well. So here's the bridge. Phase 1, double down on your craft at work. Do not quit your day job. Your day job is your dojo where you learn and you get better. And if you get better for that business. The business does better. They reward you for it. And if they don't reward you for it, it's okay because you've now got a second option with getting paid through mentorbusiness.com. Phase 2, test the market by helping others with the same problem. Put your course up on your TV show, your episodes on mentorbusiness.com. Test it, see what they're coming back to. If you don't like it, we can re-record it, have something else. Just going through that whole process gets it refined. And of course, depending on what package you get coaching from one of our team members anyway, expert coaches, that'll say, look, you need to be working on this instead. Otherwise, you're going to get paid. No one's going to pay for it. This is what they will pay you for. So it just saves you a lot of time. Phase 3, scale into repeatable stream. You can then be a mentor. Maybe one day you'll want to move away from that day job. Most people don't. They like their day job because these are passionate people about what they do anyway. Yes, it's good to be a part of both vehicles. Final takeaway, you don't need 10 streams of income, guys. You can do, but you don't. You're talking about just bridging to start off with. You just need that one skill that you've mastered and then a smart way to monetize it beyond your 9 to 5 job, either as a business owner, director, manager, employee, whatever it is, a professional. If you're very good at what you do, high performance salesperson, for example, you're beating all the records, you're in the top 10 salespeople, teach others, mentor others. Yeah. That's how you build freedom without burning out.